is innovation at scale, enabling customer-centric transformation. Introducing our speaker, Dr. Bishwajit Mohapatra, Head of Customer Solutions and CIO Advisory, India and South Asia, Amazon Web Services. Dr. Mohapatra is a global thought leader and influencer on cloud computing, recognized with numerous awards including Business Leader of the Year and CIO of the Year. With 24 years of experience, he excels in multi-cloud transformation, IT consulting, and CXO relationship management across diverse industry. Huge round of applause for Dr. Biswajit Mohapatra.
Right? Uh, Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon. I'll have a tough job after lunch, right? So I want all of you guys to participate with me, right? So first of all, let me thank all of you to be a great audience from the morning here. And in the same time, I'm so excited to be here with all of you today to share what really works for Amazon when it comes to customer experience, right? So there are many approaches. You may have a better approach when it comes to customer experience, but what I'm trying to share here today is what works for Amazon. What is that we have been trying for more than 2 decades now to serve our customers and give them a very delightful customer experience. That's going to be my session today. As all of you know, the world has really become more intelligent, more interconnected, as well as more instrumented today. That has given us a opportunity to think, act, and transform into new ways, whether it is socially, whether it is economically, or technically. There is evolution of a new business paradigm, and this evolution is actually happening across three distinct dimensions. The first dimension is all about new business model. And from the morning you have been hearing about how enterprises are reshaping the business model and reinventing the industry. That's all about new business model. The second dimension is all about new ways of doing things, whether it is actionable insights. We had a lot of discussions around GenAI. I am not going to dive into that, but it's all about actionable insights. It's all about market activation to gain customers, understand customers, and give them the delightful experience. The number three dimension is all about new expertise. All of you will agree with me that we need that restless talent. We need to build that skill, build that capability to serve our customers, right? And in the same time, the other aspect is all about orchestrated ecosystem. Gone those days where you can operate in silos, where you say that, okay, this is my competition, I am not going to work with my competition. I remember ex-CEO of IBM talking about competition and cooperation together, and she coined a new term called coopetition, right? That's what Ginny Rometty talked about. So today, when you are trying to give the best solutions, best services to your customers, it's all about coopetition. Your competition and you working together to provide the solution to the customers, right? And all of those really happening around different next-gen technologies that all of us are aware of, and innovation happening around those technologies at a massive scale. So innovation is very, very important when we talk about driving customer experience. Okay, so great. So when we talk about Amazon, where really innovation begins at Amazon, right? We at Amazon start diving deep to our customers' needs. What our customer says, what our customers feels, what is their need, what is their want, right? What's their typical frustrations, typical pain points they have in life. We start from there, we work backward from there, and then try to invent ways, try to find out ways that can surprise as well as delight our customers. That's what we call as starting with customers and working backward from customer needs to provide a delightful experience. There are many ways to center your business around, right? You may say that, okay, I will focus on competition to do my business. Someone may say that I will focus on new technology to do my business. But here at Amazon, what we do, we center our business around obsessive customer focus. And that's what really makes Amazon so successful today. This statement actually from Jeff Bezos in the 2016 shareholder letter. Jeff Bezos talked about there are many advantages to a customer-centric approach. But here is one that Jeff Bezos really talked about, right? Do you guys agree with me? Customers are always beautifully, wonderfully dissatisfied. You guys agree with that or not? Right? I want some energy, guys. You guys agree with that? They are beautifully, wonderfully dissatisfied, even when they report they are happy. Right? Even when they say that their business is doing great. Even when they don't know that what's really happening into the business in the next 24 hours. But they are always unhappy. And you and your desire to delight your customers will really drive you to reinvent on your customers' behalf. I'll give you a very simple example. You guys use Amazon Prime? Right? Anyone who is a user from the very initial days when Amazon Prime was launched? Did you really realize any issue at that time in Amazon Prime? It has a buffering issue, right? But before even customers realizing the buffering issue, Amazon paid back the entire money that's being spent by the users to the users basically. Right? Even before they realize that things are really not working in Amazon Prime. Why did Amazon do that? Predominantly because it definitely tasks Amazon because it's a cost to Amazon, right? But we paid the cost even though customers didn't ask us to pay for it because there is a customer dissatisfaction that has happened there. Today, even all the boardroom meetings that we do within Amazon, we keep the center table empty. Any guess why is that? Why Amazon keeps the center chair empty in any boardroom meeting that we do? Of course, absolutely. When you are working, there are different teams. We talked about siloed operations, whatnot, right? Every team will have their own interest. But at the end of the day, when you close the meeting, think about the person that's sitting on that center chair, and that's your customer. The decision together as a team that you are taking, is that going to make that person happy? If the answer is yes, then you leave the meeting. That's the culture of customer centricity that we try to drive in Amazon today. Good. So, I talked about customer needs. Customer needs could be short term, but here at Amazon, our focus is customer needs, which is addressing those needs at a short term basis, but in the same time thinking long term. I just want to introduce to a concept to all of you guys, a flywheel that you see on the slide. This is for our retail business, and I'm sure most of you probably use Amazon Retail, right? So what is happening on this flywheel? If you really look at, keep focus on customer experience. And of course, with all the discussions we are having today, every one of us will definitely agree that customer experience, our prime goal, prime target is to improve the customer experience, right? And when you improve the customer experience, what happens? In Amazon Retail, if you take that as an example, you increase the traffic to the site. If customers are happy, they will come to the site more. If there is more traffic, you will get more sellers or not? You are going to get more sellers. If you get more sellers, your customers are going to get more choice for selection, right? And if there is more choice, the scale increases or not? More customer, more choice. Your business scale increases. If that increases, you lower the cost structure, you lower the price. And if you lower the price, you give a better customer experience or not? So that's what we call as the flywheel in Amazon. And this can be applied to every business. For example, at no point of time is any customer going to come back and tell you that, hey, After 5 years, I wish I have less choice in your website to purchase. No customer is going to tell you that, right? Or no customer is going to tell you that, hey, I wish the prices would have been more. Not going to happen that way, right? So here the focus is how you exactly focus on your durable needs of your customer and bring a flywheel around that so that you are sustainable and you are building a sustainable, self-fulfilling, closed-loop business process. If you are focused on your durable needs, then the business is going to happen and your customers are going to be happy. I'm not sure. Think about your business. What are your durable needs? And when you are talking about customer experience, are you really focused around those durable needs or not? Another example I can talk about, many of you may be using a AWS cloud. Is any point of time any customer going to tell you after 10 years that I wish AWS cloud would have been less secure? No customer will tell that, right? After 10 years. After 10 years, no customer is going to tell you that, hey, I wish AWS cloud would have been less available, not 7/24 availability. Right? So that means AWS cloud is built based on the durable needs of the customer, which will serve customers today and after 10 years. When you are talking about customer experience, think about where your businesses are having those durable needs identified or not, or whether you have built those self-sustaining flywheels for your business or not. Okay, so I'll talk about customer-centric approach. How does really Amazon organize for innovation at scale to enable those customer-centric transformations? We focus on 4 parameters. Number 1, culture. Number 2, mechanism. Number 3, architecture. And number 4, organization. Let me quickly talk about culture. Everyone at Amazon is bounded by these 16 leadership principles. And as you see on the top, customer obsession is the top of those leadership principles. These are the leadership principles based on which Amazon leaders lead, based on which we serve our customers. Period. There is no deviation from those leadership principles that can happen. And if I talk about the second leadership principle that we saw on the screen, invent and simplify. Of course, when you are innovating, when you are inventing, you need to be misunderstood at times. Kindle. When Jeff Bezos came up with the idea with Kindle, you know that we were known for selling books on Amazon.com, right? Why Kindle? It was almost like impacting your own business. But the vision was that how can I give a better customer experience to my customers? Instead of carrying thousands of books, how can I have my customer have all the books in my pocket in a device? Of course, the idea was not there that time to build a device which is very slicker, thinner. The focus was more around giving that customer experience. Then over a period of time, we kind of improved the design, and today we have a very slicker Kindle device, right? That's what it's all about, the culture that Amazon practices. Second one, mechanism. It's basically a behavior that encodes. Like we call this as good intentions are not good enough. You need mechanisms to take actions and change, right? When a problem happens, I'm sure many of you will agree that you kind of rally around people to solve that problem and then you kind of leave it there, right? We don't do that. We establish a mechanism and based on the tools, based on the adoptions and based on the inspections we do, we iterate that mechanism to drive the outcomes. And one such mechanism is what we call as working backward mechanism. Again, this is a framework that we use, and many of our customers have actually adopted this framework, what we call as PRFAQ framework. You know, many companies probably you must be aware of where they build products, they build services, and then they throw it to the marketing team saying that, hey, go and now sell it. This happens or not? In Amazon, we don't do that. If I talk about AWS, today we have 200 plus services. Out of those 200 plus services, 90% of those services are built based on customer needs. And 10% of the services are actually built by reading between the lines. Customer wanted a low-cost infrastructure, and we built a serverless infrastructure, which is called Lambda. Any of you using Lambda today? AWS serverless, right? So that's what we do basically as part of the PRFAQ mechanism. We start with the press release, then we go to writing the FAQs, and then create visuals before we build the products. And the press release means you start from the back, right? You write the press release. You imagine, you think about if the product is available, how the press release will look like. You start from there. It's a hypothetical press release. If the product is available, this is the way the press release will look like. And from there, you build up basically. And we do this as a workshop for many of our customers across the globe, and you name it, probably any large enterprises or any startup in India, most of them, if they are using AWS Cloud, they know the PRFAQ mechanism, right? Yeah, this is how it looks like. Start with press release, go to FAQs, and then come to visuals before you build it. Okay, now coming to the third one, architecture. The focus on architecture is all about improving and iterating your architecture to create a decentralized architecture, so to say. Think about Amazon.com. When we started Amazon.com, it was a huge monolith, right? And we call it as Obidos, and those of you kind of little connected to geography, you know that Obidos is a port city in Brazil where Amazon River is narrowest, right? So the monolith was almost choking the neck of the entire Amazon.com. Users were not happy. From there, we broke those monoliths into multiple monoliths, right? Every functionality became a monolith. Of course, it was better, but it was not the best. And today, if you look at the Amazon.com, that runs across multiple microservices, 100,000 microservices, utilizes 200 plus services that's available in AWS today, right? That's what is Amazon.com architecture today to provide those customer experience. And these are the services. Great. So maybe I'll just pause here and ask a question. I know my time is probably ticking off. Speed up deployments at Amazon.com. Any guess? What could be the speed up deployments at Amazon.com today? Average time between deployments in a weekday. Half an hour? Any other guess? Guys, come on, guess. Even if it's wrong, it's fine. Yeah? 6.6 seconds, right? And that's what we have achieved today in Amazon.com. Great. Coming back to the fourth part, which is organization. Many of you here probably companies having 1,000 people. Prior to joining Amazon, I was also in a company where we had I had around 20,000 people part of my team basically, right? In Amazon, this is what you have as your team. We call it as two-pizza team. Your team should not be big enough than making them eat two pizzas, 8 to 10 people, right? But that team is very, very self-directed, self-motivated, and accountable for what they do. They take their own decisions in Amazon, right? Small, decentralized, and nimble teams, and they are encouraged to experiment early, as well as experiment more frequently. Good. So I talked about those 4 parameters. Of course, quickly because I know we have lesser time, but culture, mechanism, architecture, as well as organization. Okay, it's not that everything is good in Amazon, right? We have our own failures as well. I just wanted to touch about that. How many of you heard about Fire Phone? Right? It was a failure for Amazon, but we learned from there, and we strongly believe that when you are driving customer experience, when you are driving customer transformation, failure is okay, right? But fail such a way that when you stand up, actually you are 2 feet ahead, basically, right? And that's so that the learnings from your failure is incorporated into the next product that you build. Fire Phone failed, but the experience and the learning that we got from Fire Phone made the Alexa stood up today, right? And I'm sure many of you probably using Alexa, right? So failure and inventions are inseparable twins. To invent, you have to experiment, and if you know no advance that it's going to work, it's not an experiment. Simple thing, right? You guys watch IPL? Some of you surely, right? And if you want to hit 6, can you hit 6 with a straight bat? Straight bat 6, very difficult, right? You have to swing the bat. If you are swinging the bat, are you taking more risk than a straight bat? So that's what it's all about. You swing the bat, you take more risk, and maybe out of 100 risks that you took, 90 will fail, but the 10 risks that is successful will give you the returns that probably you have spent on your additional 90 risks that failed for you. So think about this. Good. So just to summarize, we had 3 big ideas at Amazon that we have stuck with us for 20 plus years, and they are the reason we are successful. Number 1, put the customer first. Number 2, innovate, invent. And number 3, Be patient. Wait. Things will come on your way one day, right? There is nothing to worry about, nothing to hurry about, right? Good. So that's all probably I wanted to really quickly share with all of you guys. Thank you very much, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk to you. Thank you. I don't know, probably will not have time for the question, but I'll be here. Direction that we have to vacate the room, so don't talk too much.
Thanks a lot, sir, for sharing your insights. Definitely, we can have Q&A in the networking break. Sir, request you to be please on the stage. To do the honors, I request Ms. Reena Evan, Senior Director of Operations at ECHO, to please join us on the dais. Can we have a huge round of applause for Dr. Bishwajit Mohapatra?